Hi and hello my YouTube friends. Thank you very much for being with me. In the last blog that I had put on Bir Birsa Munda, I got a tremendous encouragement and support from you guys. And it took me a while to realize that many of you watched it. You might have your own say on it, but still I tried my best to project how I knew him. After reading some of the books and some of the materials which is in the net. But since I have to make it short, so that I can get your attention, I had not told many things for that. And for sometimes
my pronunciation
or I go beyond the links or mistakes in grammar, please try to forgive me and understand that I'm learning to do this so that I can encourage myself, plus to help students especially and friends to know something more about our history, past and forgotten history that we do not remember. Hi and hello my YouTube friends. Thank you very much for being with me. In the last blog that I had put on Bir Birsa Munda, I got a tremendous encouragement and support from you guys. And it took me a while to realize that many of you watched it. You might have your own say on it, but still I tried my best to project how I knew him. After reading some of the books and some of the materials which is in the net. But since I have to make it short, so that I can get your attention, I had not told many things for that. And for sometimes my pronunciation or I go beyond the links or mistakes in grammar, please try to forgive me and understand that I'm learning to do this so that I can encourage myself, plus to help students especially and friends to know something more about our history, the past and forgotten history that we do not remember. So please understand my mistakes and forgive me for this. And remember, please continue to support me while watching or by subscribing, so that as we go on to the later part of these blogs which I have already prepared, we will talk about all the freedom fighters who represented different communities, tribes, people, state or the country, which will make it interesting not only for you and me, but also for the younger generation to know something about our past, which our heroes, should be heroes, have done. So thank you very much, and please continue to watch this next episode which I have made on Kiang Nangbah, the freedom fighter and a great individual from the state of Meghalaya, especially in the Jaintias Hills. Hello future and my motivational tutorial family members. Thank you very much for being with me all this while, and together we are experiencing a lot of new things which is coming up, and it is a very good opportunity for us to make the maximum out of it by looking, learning and being in touch with one another. I have been making videos, blogs on our freedom fighters. I was talking about Bir Birsa Munda, and today I am going to talk to you about another freedom fighter from the state of Meghalaya. And this person that we are going to discuss on and learn about is very important in our textbooks, and it is part of this larger Northeast freedom fighters names included in the syllabus. So it's nice for us because Assam is a metropolitical village where people from every part of the world is practically present, and we have all different ethnic tribes and community, that it has become really a mixed type of land. And when we talk about Northeast, one of the very close state or a very close state to Assam is Meghalaya, and it's the easiest for us, many of us, to go there, because you just have to go sit on a taxi from Guwahati and then you reach Meghalaya within 2 hours or 3 hours. One of the blog that I'm going to make to you on Kiang Nangbah, and let's try to understand that these are blogs being made so that you cannot forget the history and the sacrifice that the past generation have done. And those sacrifice happened, simple people came up and they struggled for the community, simple people, and they demanded that their rights and their privileges as and where they were should be acceptable to the society which they were trying to mix with. But this was not done, because we know the British colonial rule, they had a different plan. In 1857, when the first war of Indian independence took place, right after that the East India Company, they made a lot of changes into their system of collecting taxes. We heard, we have found, we have read that it is written that after 1857, what the British government did was they tried to increase the taxes to pay back the expenditure during the first war of India's independence. So they took advantage of the land which they were trying to control on, and imposing different types of taxes. Like in Meghalaya, when we talk about, they imposed taxes and stopped people practicing their traditional beliefs. That was one of the reasons. They included house tax, income tax they had to pay for annually. So these challenges and these difficulties was really not bearable by some young man of that generation, that he had to challenge the whole society to stand behind him and fight for their rights. And that is what Kiang Nangbah did. Let's learn a little bit about this great gentleman of the Northeast who fought against the British colonial rule in his area. Now, Kiang Nangbah belonged to Jaintias Hills of Meghalaya. Jaintias Hills of Meghalaya, that is on the eastern side of Meghalaya. Now they belong from a very particular clan, and they have their own traditions and cultural practices and language, but they are very much similar to the Khasis. We will not go into the details of these two different tribes of Meghalaya, but what I want to tell you is that their area of concentration of population, which is only about 18% of the total population of Meghalaya, is found to be living around Jaintia Hills. If you search and find where is Jaintia Hills, you will find, and the district headquarters of Jaintia Hills is Jowai. They have a very particular name for the local name for that. I have a very hard time pronouncing it. I get mixed up. Iawmusiang or something, it goes like that. But then this Jowai, as I know of and easy to pronounce, was the district headquarters of the Jaintiapur, and I believe Jaintiapur was somewhere very close by. So what had happened, that when the taxation of the local people was increased by the Britishers, this local people of that area refused to pay and refused to stop practicing the traditional customs and beliefs. So they argued, they challenged, and they were taking out small rebellions against the authoritative rule of the British in India. Now, Kiang Nangbah, not much is written about him. Not much is written about him. In fact, when he was born also, I believe I could not find it in the net, I could not find it in the textbook, but it was said to be that it was somewhere in the 1835 to 1834, between that age he was born, and he was just a simple farmer. He was such a simple farmer that the people of that area, they believed that he had this divine intervention from God, and he would be able to lead them out to challenge the Britishers. So he took the challenge of being the leader of the clan, and then he started to rebel against the British. The rebellion was very successful because all his clans and people of that area who were subject to this kind of mistreatment by the Britishers, they were ready to join, and they joined in great numbers, and they were very supportive to him for the struggle. Now, his life history, as I told you, is very simple. We don't know much about it, but then we come to the part when he started to rebel against the Britishers. During this rebellion period, there are other dates that I would like to mention. So now we come to find that the rebellion had just started under the leadership of Kiang Nangbah, a simple, humble person. He was chosen, so he led out the rebellion. The rebellion was against the prohibition and taxation of the land, income, plus their traditional cultural beliefs. It was on that which the Britishers were taxing them from that. So when this rebellion started to take place, immediately the people supported him. They cut off the main areas of the road which was linked to Jowai, because Jowai was linked to Cherrapunji, that is in the border area of Meghalaya, present Meghalaya. So they had this road connecting to Jaintias Hills, Jowai, and to this Cherrapunji. So they cut off this road. Some of the soldiers, supporters of Kiang Nangbah, and they attacked this camp which was in Jowai. The camp in Jowai was attacked on 17 January 1862. In this camp, many British soldiers plus people of the local area, they also suffered great loss. But it was a fierce fighting which took place between the locals and the British who were guarding, and the soldiers who were guarding the camp, that gradually, because of the firepower, they had those guns already with them, so the rebels were able to be weakened, and since they got weakened, many of them scattered into different places. Then more infantry, more army was sent from Kolkata, the main base where the East India Company was there. More army was sent to fight and to stop the rebellion in Jaintia Hills. 44 native infantry plus 33 Bengal military police, they arrived to stop this violence and to control the rebels. So when they came, they burned the houses and they chased the villagers, and even their paddies, which were granaries being kept for their food and all, those things also was burnt. And they put up a writing on the wall saying, "We will give you 1,000 rupees reward if you will hand over Kiang Nangbah." There was a sour grape within his own friends and army which did this problem of capturing and handing over Kiang Nangbah to the Britishers. The Britishers took Kiang Nangbah to Jowai, and in front of all the public, they hanged him to death. He was hanged on 30th December 1862 in Jowai in the Republic. So that brought the rebellions in Jowai to a standstill because they had lost a great leader. Now, many of our leaders are not forgotten. They are written, recorded and instilled. So Indian government also commemorated in his memory a stamp which has a picture of him in our stamp. So that was in recognition for his fight for his native land, for his motherland. And you know, an interesting thing, one more thing I learned about this Kiang Nangbah is like the government has set up many colleges. In Jowai there is a college by the same name which was set up in 1967. Kiang Nangbah College was set up in Jowai in his memory. Plus there are many holidays celebrated for his death and birth. Those are some important things, where the people of Meghalaya, especially Jaintias Hills, they celebrate his rebellion or the fight or the spirit he showed against the British, against the colonial rule. Another very interesting I learned while reading about him was that when he was being hanged, he was being asked to give one last anything he wanted. So while the rope was still hanging on his neck, he said something. He said, "If my head after I die falls on the eastern side, if it swings and falls to the eastern side, our motherland will get its independence before 100 years." And that he proved, because after 85 years, India got the independence and Meghalaya got its independence. So my friends, these freedom fighters, they instilled in us great responsibility, not to divide this nation, but to unite this nation. We are a land of many colors, many language, many types of religion. We are so infused in ourselves that we feel that we live in a very international society where we need to learn to respect others. We have to learn to accept others. Only way we can become brothers or sisters or humanity is how we treat others. That is the only thing we should learn at this present time. May God bless each one of you, because it's been good learning, and I have to make another freedom fighter. In between, I will try to insert some important events which are taking place around us, so that every time it is not only on the books, but then it is also of what is going around us also. So thank you very much and have a wonderful time with your family.